every 20 minutes. It's your statewide Alabama Weathercast.
Good morning, I'm meteorologist Drew McCombs with the Alabama Weather Network and have your Alabama forecast for this morning. So taking a look at some of the video and pictures that were sent by our sky watchers yesterday, had some good stuff out there, and definitely this was a case where Brian Parton in Ohatchee was seeing a pretty strong thunderstorm in his area there in Calhoun County. And again, yeah, yesterday was a pretty active day, obviously. Had a lot of showers and thunderstorms. We had some flooding issues. We had some trees down, had some minor damage. We had a tornado warning in Jackson County for a little bit. Thankfully, looking like we didn't have damage with that, and it stayed north of the state line. But yeah, pretty potent looking thunderstorm there moving through Ohatchee. And then also looking over towards the northwestern part of the state in Killen, Jonathan Ade sent this in. Nice, pretty looking clouds here with the sun beginning to set behind those. And so again, that's a nice looking scene there. And then from this morning, Chris Cheatwood in Anniston sending a picture of the nice looking clouds there in the blue sky, some alto cumulus clouds. And so again, we really appreciate our sky watchers sending in videos, pictures, reports, and super appreciative of what they do for us. Satellite and radar this morning, good bit of more cloud cover than we've seen the last couple of mornings. And so we have fairly low clouds across the central part of the state down into the southwestern part of the state. Not nearly as much though as you move kind of south of Montgomery towards Dothan, Phoenix City. Good bit more sunshine down there, and also down along the coast in Gulf Shores, Orange Beach, and places like that. We'll take a Skycam tour though and kind of take a look at it in real time. So Ardmore, one of those places that is socked in with some low clouds, temperature around 70 degrees with dew points in the upper 60s. Note that the wind is from the north at 4 miles an hour, and that's because a little front has moved through, and that's what helped trigger those showers and thunderstorms yesterday. So they've got some northerly winds. Got northwesterly winds at Chehaw as well. Got some nice blue skies there, though. You can see some of the lower clouds actually below this elevation with temperatures around 74 degrees. And then as we move down towards Dozier, so in getting further down in the southern part of the state, clear skies for the most part. Got some clouds in the distance, but we got 82 degrees for the temperature, so already starting to warm up more there in Dozier. And then as we move a little bit further to the south at Spanish Fort, beautiful view there looking back towards Mobile Bay. Temperature in the low 80s already. Winds are calm, dew points around 75 degrees. So what we're watching for today and the rest of this week as we head towards the weekend, highs will be in the upper 80s, mostly in the northern part of the state, with low 90s, mainly in the southern part of the state. Scattered showers and thunderstorms are likely again, especially in the southern part of the state. Now, the northern part of the state, not going to see nearly as much, probably be fairly dry, but in kind of central Alabama south, you definitely will be seeing more scattered storms for today. And then dry air arrives on Monday. It's going to be a nice change, especially for this time of August as we get into early next week. So temperatures right now, though, still fairly warm. We're 77 degrees in Birmingham, mostly 70s across the northern part of the state, 80 degrees in Greenville, 84 in Troy. It's already 88 degrees in Gulf Shores, so almost 90 degrees already. So it's been a quick warm up there along the coast, a little bit more than you would expect this time of the morning. Forecast highs in the, again, generally kind of upper 80s in the northern part of the state, expecting to get 86 in Coleman, even 90 in Gadsden, and then down towards the south, could be approaching 100 in places like Andalusia, 97 degrees, 93 in Dothan, 95 in Geneva is what we're looking at. As far as the highs that have occurred over the last month, I want to take a little sample of both Huntsville and Birmingham, and you can see most of the month in the blues here has been below average. It's been a fairly mild August until the last week, and you see in the oranges here, we've been above average and even hit 100 degrees in Huntsville this past Monday. Now, for Birmingham, similar story. It's been mostly below average, or at least around average so far this month. But yesterday, Birmingham hit 100 degrees. And of course, that's before they ended up getting very heavy thunderstorms and flooding. Flash flood warning was issued later on in the day after hitting 100 degrees. So kind of a wild weather day overall across the state. But looking at our Futurecast for today, again, starting off with some clouds. By the time we get into the middle of the afternoon, showers and thunderstorms developing again in kind of the 2059 corridor. Again, north of that, don't expect nearly as much as we saw yesterday. Maybe a little bit of a gap here in parts of the kind of south central part of the state from Selma, Montgomery, and Auburn. I still think you're going to see some showers and thunderstorms in this area, though, but maybe a little bit better coverage down in the southern tier of counties there, maybe some heavier cells near Geneva and Dothan around that time of the afternoon. And then things fade off as we get through the overnight period. And then for tomorrow, again, better coverage of showers and thunderstorms and some heavy thunderstorms as well for the southern part of the state. And as you can see here, again, the kind of the northwestern corner and northern part of the state, not expecting nearly as much as we get into tomorrow. Then by Saturday, maybe a little bit of an uptick of the coverage of showers and thunderstorms back up towards the north as well, but maybe not nearly as heavy as we've seen over the last day or so. But there is for today a flash flood risk, a marginal flash flood risk from the Weather Prediction Center. So that's this area in green here, again, from Tuscaloosa, Birmingham, Gadsden down to the south. So really what this just means is not everybody in this area is going to get flooding for sure. It just means that if you do get a heavy thunderstorm in your area, there is the potential that it could produce enough rain to fill ditches, make some of the roads water covered and things of that nature. Just like yesterday, the storms that do form will be pretty heavy and could not move a whole lot. And so if you get that happening over one point for a period of time, that can cause some issues. So that's basically the story for today. Looking at the tropics, Hurricane Aaron's still out there off the East Coast. Thankfully, starting to move away though. North-northeast at 18 miles per hour is the current movement. 100 mile per hour sustained winds. And again, this will be moving off to the northeast and having less impact as it does, but still plenty of rip currents, issues with storm surge. Some of those houses along the coast having some issues with the water sort of kind of undermining the foundations of the house. But again, thankfully it will be pushing away and strength or weakening as it moves off to the northeast over the next several days. And we do still, though, have some more things to watch further back to the east. So you got Aaron right there. Then right behind that, you've got a development area that this disturbance is going to be moving into, where this will be a 70% chance that this will become a named system within the next 7 days. Thankfully, though, all the models are turning it out to sea as well before it reaches land. So that's good to see. Another disturbance in the southern part of the Atlantic, 40% chance there. Expect that's going to be moving into less favorable conditions here in the next few days, so don't expect much development out of that. Just a small little area here in the central Atlantic. And with none of this, we expect any sort of impact on land in the U.S. We don't expect any issues in the Gulf in the next week to 10 days, so that's always good this time of year. And another thing that's good this time of year is a break from the heat, and that's going to be happening. We've got the ridge off to the west that'll be sort of pushing back to the west a little bit, and then this trough starts to move in as we head into the weekend, and that's going to start to suppress our temperatures. We'll have a cold front that'll be moving in at the surface along with that. So by early next week, we're going to have a nice little fall preview where we're going to have drier air in place and cooler mornings and even cooler afternoons as well. So we'll definitely take that. And looking at your 7-day forecast, that reflects that. So again, next couple of days, upper 80s, lower 90s in North Alabama with smaller chances of rain and thunderstorms today for sure, and even possibly tomorrow. A little bit of an uptick as we get into Saturday, but still not a washout for sure. But look at the weekend there, look at early next week. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, highs in the low to mid 80s, lows down in the low 60s. Certainly possible that some of our cooler spots will get in the upper 50s as far as low temperatures those mornings. And then for South Alabama, again, low 90s to mid 90s possible today as far as the high temperature, scattered showers and thunderstorms. A little bit better chance of scattered showers and thunderstorms will continue through the weekend, but you can see that the heat levels do back down, lower or upper 80s possible. And again, smaller rain chances and a little bit cooler temperatures at night also possible in South Alabama. All right, that is your state forecast update. We'll have another one coming up this afternoon.